This is a little game that's been rattling around in my head for years that I'm so excited to torture everyone with. So this little game is called Hitler or Herzl, in which get ready. This is spicy. You might want to drink a water first. In which we take a quote out of context, and you have to guess which of these two titans of world history spoke these god-awful lines. The only things I will ever change in presenting these are first person pronouns, which would kind of give away the answer. So, quote, the Jews not only have degenerated and are located at the end of the path, Jews spoiled the blood of all the peoples of Europe. Jews are descended from a mixture of waste of all races, end quote. What do we think, people? Hitler or Herzl?
Oh my God. I'm like, fucking damn it.
It's Hitler? I'm like praying that it's Hitler?
I don't even know.
I would think that Herzl would maybe be like a little less explicit, but maybe I'm giving him too much credit.
I'm going to say because of the framing, I think it's Herzl. However, it sounds very Hitlerish.
I'm going to go with Hitler.
So we got 2 Hitlers, 1 Herzl?
Yeah.
The use of degenerate makes me think it's Hitler.
The blood stuff is
yeah, the blood stuff too.
It's Herzl.
No!
The only word I changed was the second Jews was we. So the original quote is the Jews not only have degenerated and are located at the end of the path, we spoiled the blood of all the peoples of Europe. Jews are descended from a mixture of waste of all races. And he said this before the First World Zionist Congress.
Thank you. I was going to ask you what the source was and what year.
Wow. Yeah, so I've seen it quoted as from Der Judenstaat, but I've also seen it quoted from the World Zionist Congress speech. I believe it is in his collected diaries as well. So this is like a pretty, if you just Google Herzl quote blood, this comes up.
I don't like this game.
I literally just want to like put this like on a paper on like Rabbi Rick Jacobs' like desk and be like, is this your king? Like, is this your man? Oh my God, it's so
yeah. So yeah, that's that.
Da klappt der Gloss und Gläsel und nimmt das Weibel Räsel und geht mit mir at den Solidar Fahrt.
I think it's time to move on to everyone's favorite guessing game, Hitler or Herzl.
This is the worst.
You know I got to do it to him. So, hey, I was control effing keywords in both Mein Kampf and the Diaries of Herzl last night. So if I had to do that, you have to deal with it. Okay, so I'm not going to use all of them today because I have a bunch. But let's see. What's a good one? All right. So who was it that said in regard to what would happen if Jews lost their privileged position in Germany, quote,
Great.
They would just wait for it. It gets better. So yeah. So who said this in response to the hypothetical if Jews lost their position of privilege in Germany, quote, they would plunge to their money bags the way a Roman plunged onto his sword, end quote.
I would say Hitler.
I'm gonna say Herzl.
Tim's got it. It was Herzl.
No! I should just assume that all these horrible things are Herzl.
That's 2 for 2 now. That's 2 for 2 now.
All right. Round 2. Who was it that said, quote, I was happy at last to know for certain that the Jew is not a German, end quote.
I want to say Hitler. But I bet it's Herzl.
Herzl.
This one's Hitler.
Oh,
yeah! It's the only time I'm ever going to say that in response to
Yep, they both come to the same conclusion. Yeah, so that first quote, the Moneybags one, was from Herzl's diary, and it was him writing a letter to the Kaiser saying that you should support Zionism because you know that eventually a reactionary government will overturn the civil rights granted to Jews, and at that point they will remove their financial support from the German government. So that was Herzl attempting to get the Kaiser to support an emigration program. I don't believe he had settled on Palestine as the point of emigration at that point, but that was, again, a letter to the fucking Kaiser. And the Hitler quote was from Mein Kampf, and it was his after he had moved to Vienna and had first seen Orthodox Jews and became immediately repulsed by them. So cool Hitler.
Very cool.
Very cool. Fuck off. All right. So we're going to do one more round. Let's see. Okay, this one is one that people may be familiar with. It's one of the more famous, quotes. So, who said about the Jews that when they sink in a society, they, quote, become a revolutionary proletariat, the subordinate officers of all revolutionary parties, and then at the same time, when rising in power, quote, there rises terrible power of the purse, end quote. Who was it that said that Jews, when they are downtrodden, become basically automatic revolutionaries, and when they are in power, have a terrible power of the purse?
I feel like this was in that Judeo-Bolshevism book.
It was quoted in there.
I'm going to say Hitler because of his exhaustive referral to all Bolsheviks as Jews.
Yeah, I'm going with Hitler.
This is actually from Der Judenstaat. This is
wow.
Yeah, this is not from the diaries. This is from Herzl's.
This is Herzl?
This is Herzl's most famous work.
What the fuck?
This is from the
founding. What the fuck?
This is from the founding document of Zionism. This is from Der Judenstaat, the Jewish state.
Have any labor Zionists tried to use that quote?
I don't know, but I'm sure they'd be fine with it because they're all social chauvinists and they want the proletariat to build up Israel rather than join with any sort of revolutionary anything. Herzl himself was a trade unionist. He talks quite a bit about his support for the Jewish workers. He was a Jewish trade unionist as expressed in his diaries. We
know that a lot of union members are fucking racist.
Right. Right. And so he from my reading in the diaries, he didn't believe in socialism precisely because of its international quality.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He thought that it would distract the Jewish proletariat from their, nationalist mission or whatever. But yeah, so the full quote. The full quote from Der Judenstaat: when we sink, we become a revolutionary proletariat, the subordinate officers of all revolutionary parties. And at the same time, when we rise, there rises also our terrible power of the purse. End quote.
Wow.
This also reminds me of that old DSA line that I was referring to earlier about Israel as, the Norway of the Middle East.
Right.
With the idea of, creating this socialistic, quote-unquote, nation-state absolutely opposed to any concept of internationalism.
Exactly. That is, Herzl talks in his diaries about how he says everything in the first person, which is really super. I mean, we talked about the messianic thing where it's like, I will unite Jewish capital and Jewish labor.
Yeah.
That's it's a very close paraphrase of several sentiments across the diaries, is that he personally will bring together in a beautiful utopian union Jewish capital and Jewish labor, which it just shows how little he understands either capital or labor, because you fucking what the fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was Hitler, Herzl. Thank you for playing.
Da klappt der Gloss und Gläsel und nimmt das Weibel Räsel und geht mit mir an den Zoller der Fahrt.
Which means, of course, that it's time for everyone's favorite quiz game, Hitler or Herzl. We're pretty close to coming up on wearing out this game, at which point we will move on to like the expanded universe version, which is just Protocols of Zion or actual Zionists, or like other sort of like, is this
I'm getting that book, and I'm getting Henry Ford's book that he had in every single Ford dealership.
Damn. Oh my God. Yeah. So it's going to be like, is this a Goya show white nationalist or a Zionist white nationalist? You decide. But for now, we're keeping it classic. Hitler or Herzl. All right. So round one. Who described Yiddish, he's Yiddish, or quote, Judeo-German, which had sense and justification only as the stealthy tongue of prisoners, end quote?
That's Herzl.
What do you think, Prez?
This is hard.
Who described Yiddish
I'm going to go Hitler.
Okay, so we got one Herzl, one Hitler. Talia, you got it. It is Herzl.
Yeah. Well,
describing. Nobody wins in this game. Yeah, no, nobody wins. Everyone's worse. Everything's worse afterwards. But yeah, so this is from Herzl's diary, talking about the language of the proposed Judenstaat. And Zionists, I'm sorry to inform you, Herzl thought that Jews should speak German.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You know stop that?
Yeah. He wasn't even a Hebraist. Like, he wasn't even down with resurrecting Hebrew. He wanted us to speak a cultured language like German. So that is this your king, you fucks? Fucking calls Yiddish the stealthy tongue of prisoners and says we should speak a real language like fucking German instead. Fuck you.
Hey, did you see that New York Times picture where they decided who they were going to endorse for the president, and they have like a signed photo of Theodore Herzl?
Oh God. Paper of record.
What?
I am shocked. Still the most insulting thing that's ever happened to me. Somebody said my beard reminded them of Herzl's.
Is that person still alive?
Yeah, they're my parents' rabbi. I'm still not. It was like a year ago. I'm still not over it.
Yeah.
It's upsetting. Okay, let's see. Round two. Who described Jews as cold-blooded, thick-skinned, and shameless?
Hitler?
Hitler.
It was actually Hitler. Yes. This is from Mein Kampf. Yep. It's not too dissimilar from a lot of Teddy Herzl's shit. But yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's do one more round here. Oh, this is a fun one. The wealthy Jews rule the world. In their hands lies the fate of governments and nations. They start wars between countries, and when they wish, governments make peace. When the wealthy Jews sing, the nations and their leaders dance along, and meanwhile, the Jews get richer. Who said this fucking thing?
God, I don't want it to be Herzl, but in my soul, I know it's Herzl.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Herzl.
Wow, we're doing well today. Yeah, that is Herzl.
Oh my God.
That is Herzl. And that isn't from his diaries. That's from an article in the Deutsche Zeitung. That's from like a published work of his that he wanted the world to see. From one of his newspaper articles. The fuck. Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
This is the worst game show ever.
Yep. I gotta torture everyone with it. Bonus rounds, because this one is too obvious to like leave it up for question. But another.
Yeah, I hope it's obvious.
Yeah. No. So this is another Herzl from his diaries, and it's just one of the things that, like, Kel, before we were talking about, like, yes, our Goyish Chaverim should be fighting the good fight against Zionism. And here's why, because that's my dog. Hey, Zelda, stop it. Hey, knock it off. Hey. All right. So back to getting fucking upset about this. It says, quote, "It would be an excellent idea to call in respectable, accredited anti-Semites as liquidators of property." This is Jewish property in Germany, mind you.
Whoa.
This is part of the plan for colonization of Palestine. So he says, yeah, it would be an excellent idea to call in respectable, accredited anti-Semites as liquidators of property. The anti-Semites will become our most dependable friends. The anti-Semitic countries, our allies. And then later it says, anti-Semitism, which is a strong and unconscious force among the masses, will not harm the Jews. I consider it. Yep.
What a douchebag.
I know, right? I consider it to be a movement useful to the Jewish character. End quote.
Fucking God.
So, yeah.
Blast that fucker into the sun.
Yep. Fuck this dude.
Oh my God.
Fuck him. He's
worst.
a monster. Yeah, and then like in another passage that again, this is the official exhaustion of Hitler or Herzl, because a lot of the other ones are like not quite vague enough to be quiz worthy, but they're still just nauseating and disgusting. Let's see. If there should be attempts to impede the free passage of the Jews, again, to Palestine, we shall know how to mobilize the public opinion of the world, in brackets, liberals, socialists, and anti-Semites, against the imprisonment of the Jews. Then too, our diplomats will be at work. We shall make financial concessions in the form of loans and special gifts. Once we are outside of Europe, we shall put our trust in our army, our purchased friendships, and a Europe weakened and divided by militarism and socialism. Fuck this dude.
What? It's the best friendship. Those that you can buy.
Yeah, right?
Jesus
fuck
fucking
this
Christ.
dude. So yeah, that's Herzl. Fuck him forever. And yeah, that's yeah. So that's Hitler Herzl. Great job, everybody. We actually played well today. People won.
Yeah.
You've gotten attuned enough at deciphering when anti-Semitism is actually Zionist anti-Semitism that you got correct scores most of the time. So congrats, I guess.
Yay.
Da klappt der Gloss Angleso und nimmt das Weibel Reso und geht mit mir at en der Fahrt.
And now it is time for not Hitler or Herzl, because we've sort of exhausted those as those options as like the entirety of the awfulness that is everyone's favorite game show. Have we settled on a name for this one? We were talking about it as like the HRH expanded universe. Talia,
yeah.
What else?
I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
HBH expanded universe.
Because the only other thing we had was like really long. It's like Protocols of the Elders of Zion or Literal Zionists, and that's just not.
And I'm not even using Protocols this time. I'm just gonna pick. Basically, it's anti-Semite or Zionist.
There we go. Yeah, so I think
it could be the same too.
Right, exactly.
You can be an anti-Semitic Zionist.
There's a lot of those, turns out. All right, so let's go with Hitler or Herzl Expanded Universe Edition. And Talia, you have the quote. So this is my first time as a player, and now I understand your hatred of this. I'm really nervous.
Yeah, I really. Okay. Okay, is this an anti-Semite, a Zionist, or both?
Oh God!
Is there an option? What?
You're giving us a both option.
Let's go with a Goyish anti-Semite or a Zionist anti-Semite.
But Goys can be
Zionist too. Damn it! All these categories are breaking down.
Is there another people on Earth so emotionally twisted that they consider everything their nation does despicable and hateful, while every murder, rape, robbery committed by their enemies fill their hearts with admiration and awe?
Oh my God.
That's a Zionist.
I hate that my gut is screaming that's definitely a Jewish Zionist.
It is a labor Zionist.
Oh, fuck.
I was vague enough to be right.
I hate being correct. I hate it. Who was
that
it?
That was Burl Katznelson from the 1930s.
Wait, from when?
The 1930s.
It was like that Larry David quote, I hate myself, but not because I'm Jewish.
Yeah. Yeah. I think about that a lot. That specific line. All right. Well, that's one quote. Oh God, it does hurt being on the receiving end of these. What do we got? What's our next one?
When we become rulers, we shall regard as undesirable the existence of any religion except our own, proclaiming one God with whom our fate is tied as the chosen people, and by whom our fate has been made one with the fate of the world. For this reason, we must destroy all other religions. If thereby should emerge contemporary atheists, then as a transition step, this will not interfere with our aims.
Oh shit, is this like a Kufi douchebag, or is this like Greater Israel Jewish nut job? Fucking A.
I can't tell if that's a Zionist or if that's like a really weird Nazi.
Yeah, I can't tell if it's a reactionary Jew or Christian.
Because I thought I was a Nazi until they mentioned atheist. And then I was like, oh, if they're saying atheism, it's probably a Jew.
Do you want to know?
I'm gonna go with Jewish Zionist again.
I'm gonna go with Nazi. Let's cover our bases.
Okay.
It is from the Protocols.
Oh, fuck.
One more. Okay, he is hardly a Jew. I'm more of a Jew than he is. He doesn't belong to a synagogue. He doesn't support Israel. He's an enemy of Israel.
This is definitely a Christian. This is a Goyish Zionist. That's my guess.
That's a Zionist.
It is Rudy Giuliani.
Fucker. Talking about Bernie, no doubt.
No, he was talking about George Soros.
Oh, God.
Don't tell me I'm anti-Semitic if I oppose them. Soros is hardly a Jew. I'm more of a Jew than Soros is.
Fucking God damn it. It hurts so bad.
How did I get Giuliani as a mayor?
All right, so I think that round of gut-wrenching horror does it.